Hey everyone, today we're playing Minecraft 1.6.4. I've really been digging it recently, um, and so this is just what we're gonna play. Um, but I want to talk about my psych and my faith, and it's been a wild ride to get to where I am now, honestly. Um, but if you don't know, I suffer from schizoaffective, and what was I doing? I need I need to get bugs to buy. Okay, yep. And schizoaffective, it's not fun. It's not a good um disorder to have, really. And for me, it's like schizoaffective thins the veil a lot, exponentially, if we're talking theologically. But like, okay, sound is working. You know, I don't know. I'll just play and talk when I have time, when it's paused, because I can't do both at the same time. But right now, I'm just looking for bugs to buy the Bigga Digga off Timon and Pumbaa. So, but really, I just kind of want to talk about my faith and my psych, really. Um, and what is this? Um, and I guess I'll start when I was a kid. Now, I was an only child for for a long time, and my mom was a single mother for a long time as well, and I I was a troublesome kid, to be honest. I wasn't the best kid, and and my earliest recollection is actually a dream. Or no, it's not a dream. It's a I remember my mom setting me on the bed, and I see shadows of mom and my then bio dad fighting, and that's not cool, you know. Is it? And that's my earliest memory, but the second memory is more disturbing because I remember having um a dream where my hands were all. Now, Christians say don't live by dreams, don't let them guide you, but at the same time, dreams are a um, glimpse into your interior life, really, and that they've always helped me kind of understand what's going on beneath the surface, right? Because dreams are your subconscious. And at that time, the dream was my hand. I wake up. I was already dissociating by this age, but I'd wake up and my hands are bloody, and I walk to the room, to the sun porch with my grandma and grandpa, and I look at grandpa, and he has a blurry face, and then I black out. And when you're dissociating, it's almost like you're living in dreams, like you can't differentiate what's a dream and what's not. I've always struggled with that. uh, I really have. And and I think, sorry, I'm trying to find the words to articulate what I'm trying to say. I don't think I had schizoaffective at such a young age. I think that happened with something more recent that happened with me. But when schizoaffective kind of happened to me, I'm trying to form the words without trash talking anybody here, to be honest. Someone whom I would call brother ushered me down a dark alley, and I broke that day. I was still living life through naivety, or na- naiveness, instead of discernment, and that messed me up. You know, um, it really messed me up because I thought I could trust this person. I thought he was my brother, but um, my dad has always told me that nothing good happens after midnight, and it's best to just stay home after midnight, which is a lonely life, but it's better that way, I suppose. And sometimes I miss that person that I would call brother, but I also realize that it's probably best to leave him in the past. Um, you know, and sometimes that's the best thing you can do is just try to move on, you And yeah, but I after being ushered down the dark alley and breaking, I really suffered from a morally wounded conscience. Did I commit treachery against someone whom I would call brother by reporting him to the police? Um and part of me believed it, another I wasn't sure. Uh, and it slowed me down. It really did. Um, yeah. But as I was saying, like the officer I was talking with and my mom and dad, they're all like, "Screw him. He hurt you. Why should you care?" But like I miss the bond. Even if it was fake, I just it's kind of it was a toxic relationship for sure, you know, and that's just that's just how it went. And my mom and dad don't, and the officer don't see the bond. They don't see how I may or may not have committed treachery. And I speak of treachery as in like Dante's Inferno, which I've this kind of ties in with faith and all that, but like if you've ever read Dante's Inferno, the ninth level of hell is like treachery. That's what it's like the worst sin you can commit, and it's not where you want to be. And I've always concerned that, but as I've talked to priests and as I've talked to priests and as I continue to talk with ChatGPT on a daily basis about faith, theology, psychology, and sociology, I just I can't help but feel that maybe I didn't commit treachery if it was for the best, you know? Whoops. Oh. And I think that might die here. Fire? What? Yeah, I died. Whoops. Oh. Sand. Okay. Does it drop normal sand or does it drop quicksand? Drops normal sand. Interesting. But as I was saying, as I've talked to priests and as I don't know, talked to ChatGPT, I've come to the conclusion that if it was not good for me, then maybe it wasn't treachery, you know. And I still feel weighed down, like my spirit is just not what it used to be, and I don't. Joy is hard, and especially after a psych ward stay up in Chicago, it really is at Ocean Craft. Oh, I thought you could make blocks out of these shells. I guess you can't. I saw that in the mod review, but okay. And you know, it's just I've learned that life is hard, and I've tried my best to forgive this click, but it still just weighs on me heavily, you know. And as you can see, I am playing with cheats here, you know. So, uh, especially with this, those are all cheats as well. But as I was saying, and that psych ward stay up in Chicago was brutal. I got physically assaulted there and some other things I can't really say without um saying what happened really. I can't say like it was rough. But I went up there because I uh I was exhibiting um violent behavior in a emergency room. They sent me up there to get me, and really what they did was they put me on opiates and they kept me in a room, and I was shaking because of the opiates, and I couldn't function even with dissociation. It wasn't fun. Uh, yeah. And but I spent a lot of time at a church called Evangelical Free Church of America when I was off my meds, or yeah, off my meds, and it was that church was good for keeping me grounded at the time when I was having all these visions and hallucinations. You could say if you're speaking of it psychologically and scientifically, but coming out of that was um, hard. because I remember there was one I think in Christian churches there's a belief that if you see darkness it's bad, like I don't know how to explain it to a non-believer, but like sometimes you'll see a gap in space-time and it'll be darkness or it'll be light, and light is good and darkness is bad. And at the time I was seeing rips in the veil, and it was darkness. And I went to E3, which is a very grounded church and a very conservative and not open to mystical, always believe on certainty. And I'm not digging on the people there, I'm digging on their doctrine. Kind of. Like, um, I don't know how to say it nicely, to be honest. Like, uh, their doctrine says in the veil isn't thin anymore. And I hear that and I'm like, how can you say it's not, you know, when this and this have happened to me, you know? And it's just it it baffles me how they can be so certain that they're saved and so certain it's, whereas in Catholicism, which I'm in OCIA right now, Order of Christian Initiation for Adults, I've got a sponsor. I'm lined up for a lot of stuff there. Oh, sorry, I'm filming this. Oh, it's in the restroom. I'll be right back. People are so grounded in their belief. But, anyways, it's just. And as I was saying, I got off track. I'm trying to play a video game and talk about this here. But as I was saying, believers see you can see a believe you can see a veil that's either light or dark. And I went to young adults group ministry one night and I said, "Hey, do you?" I saw the veil open and I just went under the covers. And E3 struggles with humility. It really does. And I'm finding refuge in Catholicism, but at the same time, in Catholicism, you need to learn the Mass, you need to learn the prayers, and that's been hard for me, but I'm trying. And but the humility you gain from that is so valuable, so valuable. It really is. And but anyways, I said I went under the covers and somebody else in the group um said I didn't know we were fucking with a 4-year-old, and that I kind of chuckled it off. I wasn't entirely there, um, and everybody started cracking jokes about it, and eventually it got to the point where the pastor, who's a really cool dude, he said, "I am he," and everybody just quieted down. It was astonishing. It was like making the sign of the cross, but for the Protestants. It was awesome. I enjoyed it, but I guess it was Pastor Cole saying that's enough, you know? And it was. I didn't leave there after that, but I knew Catholicism was calling me in a way, you know? I don't know how to explain it, but I knew E3 wasn't going to be the church for me. I was there for a while and I knew it wasn't working out, you know? And and as I'm saying these things, I guess this video is for people who like me, or who like hearing people talk about their faith, I guess, you know, or in the testimonies and faith based discussions. It's all very interesting to me, and I figured I'd post something up and see what people have to say about it. But as I'm getting steeped into Catholicism and the Eucharist and all these things, I just it's I don't know, it's beautiful, but it's like it's a lot as well, you know. And I enjoy it, but like there's also this I not as much pressure to evangelize as there was at E3, but a pressure, a gentle pressure to learn the Mass, to appear at church every Sunday, and that's kind of what a practicing Christian has become, has kind of formed, or my belief about it, what a practicing Christian should be is someone who observes the Eucharist, whether it be symbolism or yes, God is in the bread, even though the secondary properties remain bread, and it's just, I guess I'm getting more steeped into Catholicism than I was at E3, and I think I'm doing better in Catholicism, to be honest, because there's not a pressure to evangelize, or, I mean, it's Christianity is still a proselytizing religion, right? But like, there's less pressure for it. You can spread the gospel by being gentle and um not pushy about it, and that's because I went to E3 like once, and I kind of got, I wouldn't say forced, but like um I went there once, and and the assistant pastor just, he was like, "We'll see you next Sunday, right?" And I was like, "Oh, sure." And then I've always gone. I always went after that. And that kind of pushy agenda really worked on me, but I don't think it was the right thing for me. And my dad was trying to steer me away from that church, the church he grew up in, because he knew it wasn't the right thing for me. But in trying to get me into Catholicism, which is what I'm in now, and um, it's been a ride. Yeah. But I've just, and the thing is, I'm loyal to a fault. I really am. Um, but I've come to learn that maybe E3 or Protestantism isn't the right thing for me. You know, right now I'm just trying to get some redstone for my rails. So I'm still building a railroad. I got 48. Cool. But I've kind of had, I've kind of been wanting to make a video about my faith for a bit now, but I've been debating whether I should do it because I really didn't know if it would bear anything. Like, Jesus, a lot of folks say, judge not by their actions, but their fruits. So I was like, what fruit will this bear? And I think really what this is just a testimony, kind of. I've never written a testimony, and that's one of the reasons I didn't get baptized at E3. They wanted me to write what was it, like a 500-word essay about a testimony and about my coming to Christ, and with someone who's dissociating and having major anger issues at the time. Like, you expect me, someone who's having major anger issues, or maybe not anger issues, but like nervous system or parasympathetic nervous responses to like writing. I can't write or I'll get angry. It's like it just ignites my fight or flight response in a bad way. They just expected me to write when I didn't want to write, and I'm not really a writer, and that wasn't gonna work for me. A lot of folks say, "Oh, I'll help you," but like I don't want you to do it for me, because for the longest time my mom was like did everything for me, and I don't want that because once she leaves, am I going to know how to do anything? And I think a lot of folks never get to that stage of like, if she leaves, will I be able to do anything for myself? And yeah. But I'm in college and as well, and you know, I'm writing there, I am writing there. That's been hard for me, but I've been managing. And there was one day, I told my dad that I don't think E3 is right for me, and Dad's like, I think you're right. And my dad said, a good pastor will lead you to a church that is right for you. Has E3 been doing that for you? And I said, no, not really. They kind of just, they keep me there, but they don't know what to do with me. And Dad expressed frustration that I was just another money source for E3, kind of. I wasn't tithing, but I was a potential money source for them, and not an emotional anchor. You know, and out of all my 80 subscribers, if you want to ask questions, please do so in the comments. I'd love to talk to everyone about what I've been through, and like, yeah, I'm down to. But right now, I'm just kind of playing Minecraft. I don't even know if y'all can hear me. I have noise suppression on in OBS. And my mic is kind of sitting far down. Yeah, it's not. I had to downgrade my setup. So this is like 1360 at 720p, 780. Because I was in an apartment with bed bugs, and then I moved out of there and I got everything cleaned up, and oh, it was a mess. Hated that apartment. So I'm living with my mom and dad again. That kind of sucks. I wish I could move out again. But in order to do that, I gotta make money, and I'm going to college for that. So I'm not like being a bum. I'm doing my part. So just hope I can get out of here soon. I really don't like living with my parents. I loved being on my own, you know. It was oh, how long has this video been? Hold on, let me check. Alright, y'all, it's been like 30 minutes. I think I'm gonna edit here, or end it here and watch back the footage, make sure you can hear it alright. But, yeah. If you did watch the whole video, thank you for watching. I've been wanting, I've, I don't know, I've been thinking about making a video like this, to be honest. It's, I don't know if it's been written on my heart, whether that's what God wants of me, really, but, like, I've been thinking about it. And I thought, you know what, I haven't posted a video in a while. I'll go ahead and make a video. So, let me get back home, empty off my stuff, and end the video. I'll end the video here. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.